Hey everyone, welcome to Two Car Pros. My name is Ryan and today I'm going to show you exactly how to replace the window regulator and motor in a 2009 BMW 328i. Now I did mine on the driver rear door. Normally it's on the driver front door because that's the one that gets shut and closed so much, and typically that wears on components a little quicker. But for whatever reason on this particular car the regulator went out on the rear door, but I promise the front door is very similar. The only thing that's going to differ is the part you get for it. That's most likely a different motor and a different regulator, but they're same side to side. So if you know how to do one side, you know how to do the other. That's the only difference there on front to back. But this is actually pretty easy. Working on BMWs is usually a little on the frustrating side because of the amount of special tools and know-how and weird little parts and pieces, but this one, it honestly couldn't be any simpler and is definitely something anybody can do in their garage with a nice set of Torx bits, and the link down below to those bad boys is in the description in case you don't have any. So on this particular car, the motor was totally fine. The actual thing that drives the regulator was working perfectly fine. The only problem I had was the regulator, the cable that actually drives the carriage was busted or bound up, or maybe the gears inside are broken. I don't know. I don't want to figure that out. I just want to replace it and get the car back on the road. If you need to replace the motor as well, I show you how to do that. But honestly, you could get away with just putting the motor in, not even taking the regulator out of the door, but if I'm being honest, if the motor went out, the regulator's probably not too far behind it, so I would advise replacing it while you're here so you don't come back in a few months. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. So, as you can see, our front window goes down just fine, comes up just fine, so that one's all good. How you know you need a new regulator for this bad boy instead of a motor too is you can hear it. Hear it? It's trying to do something. You can hear the motor in there working. So that means the regulator is most likely bad, and we need to take it apart and look at it and most likely replace the regulator in there to get this window to come back up, because it ain't coming back up. And for the record, the other doors are going to be very similar, if not the same, to this one and how they function, but they will most likely have a different type of regulator for the front versus the back, but they'll be the same side to side. So just for your reference, because I know people are going to ask, well, why didn't you show the front doors? Because the front doors are fine. This one, however, is not fine, and we need to work on it. So in order to get this door panel off, we're going to have to remove this trim very carefully. I have a body clip puller. It does have a metal tip. A lot of people have these in plastic, which is really the way to go. I don't have one of those, so just be like super careful trying to get this off of here and pull it straight out as you really can. I will try to leave a link down below in the description to something that will work for you. There we go. You can even try wrapping the tip of this in tape or something, but then it won't be able to get behind there. And basically you are defeating, these clips. Oh, see, these threads just kind of go into these plastic holes, and look, this bit came out with it. It's really not supposed to. So that can be kind of a bear. I'll put that back in its home. There we go. So that'll get you to there. And why does that matter? Well, there are bolts hidden right here and over here, I believe. Maybe they're right here. Anyway, let's get those out. So in this hole and way over here are two, one on each side, T15 Torxes. And I'll leave a link down below in the description to a Torx set for you. A little difficult to get it directly on there. So that is what that fastener looks like. Fascinating. Get it? There we go. Second guy out of there. Once we have this trim piece off, we can grab our body clip puller and get underneath here and pull. Ah, there we go. The front bit of this handle off, and there's another bolt right there. Yeah. Awesome. So now the three fasteners have been removed. I believe that's all that holds this door on as far as fasteners go, and the rest are just clips. So we can just go around and very gingerly pull our door out and pull it straight out. You don't want to pull it at an angle. There we go. Mind the lock indicator rod up here at the top left. Just kind of set that down. And then we'll have the door panel free to where we can start unplugging things and get it out of our way. So what I've done is got my cat claw and pried the switch open, or out. You can actually probably do this before you even start taking things apart. And I'm just gonna unplug it. There's not even a safety on it. You can just take it right off. Set the switch aside. Feed the power out. Excellent. That takes care of that. And then for the actual door handle, where it actually goes into the clasp here, we can go ahead and just remove it really easily. And then the whole door panel can go away. Next thing we can do is remove this insulation, and it's just kind of stuck on with silicone, so you might ruin this taking it off, but that's part of the job. You could cut this out of the way if you don't intend on replacing it, but I think what I'm going to do is wipe as much of this old silicone off as I can and apply a new layer of silicone and stick it back on. That's what I'm going to do. Some people don't even put this back, but you really should. Ooh, that is goopy. I ripped it a little bit there. You probably see why a lot of people don't put this back. Because it just tears to shreds. All right, now what are we looking at? Well, here's our regulator motor. Here is our window stuck down in the door, and probably the bit that's gone bad, part of the regulator, that is basically ruined. The cable most likely snapped. As you can see, it's nice and, see how nice and loose this is? Shouldn't be like that. So that's probably what went bad. So I've got a little bit of a close-up here, and you can see our motor and our regulator here. And when I try to pull up on the glass, which you really need to do in order to basically unclip it from the regulator, the woundness of this cable is preventing that. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip it, because this regulator's junk, and you're not going to be able to use it anymore anyway. There we go. Now we should be able to move our glass up. Yeah, see, like that. And that'll be able, we'll be able to work on it without it being stuck down into the door pocket. So what we're going to do is manually reach in the door and pull up the glass until you can see this little safety through that window. You see that guy right there? That's what you're looking for. That safety is actually what holds onto the glass, and we need to defeat that in order to get the regulator off of the glass, which is what we're looking for. So just reach in with a screwdriver, pry the bad boy up, and push it out of its way. Now, we should be able to separate the regulator from the window. That'd be neat. Push it through like that. Yeah! So now the regulator and the window are independent of each other, which is good. And we can lift the remainder of the glass up and out of our way. Just so it's not in our way, we're going to lift that all the way up into its home. Mine's sticking pretty good into its, utmost position. If yours is sliding down and getting in your way, go ahead and tape it in place with some packing tape or Scott's Blue painter's tape or something. Now we can focus on removing our regulator and motor. Now this motor looks really easy to unplug. Depress the safety, wiggle the connector until it comes off, and that's it for the electrical on the motor. And now it looks like we just have 3 nuts to remove. So we can remove these 3 nuts, and they are 10 millimeter. And we should be able to remove the whole thing. Slide it forward, and look, it even has a way to actuate it down. See where my thumb is? And rotate it until we can get it out of there. Oh yeah. wires out of the way. Yeah. Yeah, look at that, huh? Up and out of our way, very cool. So here are our old regulator and our new regulator with our old functioning motor. Like I said, if you had a brand new motor, you can just toss this one away. I think some of them come bolted with the new motor on there. If they don't, just go ahead and bolt it on. But we're going to transfer ours using a T25 Torx. So let's take those off. They're not on crazy tight or anything. Lift that bad boy up, place it into our new one here. Might fight you a little bit. Go ahead and replace these T25ers. No torque spec for you today. Honestly, I don't think there even is one because the threads are like the screw type threads. Just, you know, wrist tight, evenly as you can. Safe bet. You know, you're sandwiching metal or plastic between metal and you might snap it. Kind of like that. So, you know, be careful. Not too tight, okay? Loosen that back up. Yeah, so yeah, look at that, that's good. So not too tight or you crack it like I did. Just wrist tight, it's okay. It doesn't have to be, you know, crazy Hercules tight or anything. And then before we go put it in the car, we gotta remove these thread protectors that they put on for shipping so that way your threads don't get ruined. And now we're ready for the car. So we can replace our regulator and motor assembly, just like how we found it. Up she goes into her home. I'm gonna go ahead and mount them in the bolt holes. There we are. That's back in its home. Take a little bit of massaging, not bad though. We can just place our nuts. I'm not tightening them down just yet. Once you got them all on, tighten them up and down. There we go, that's in its home. Very excellent. What we can do next is I'm gonna test the motor because I hope it worked. And if it worked, we'll be able to plug it in, which we gotta do anyway. And then I'm gonna take our switch that we've got out of the door, and it only goes in one way, so you can't mess that up. So that's back and plugged in. Now I'll turn the ignition on in the car. You don't have to start it, just turn the ignition on. It isn't hooked up to the window, so you're not gonna see the window move. All I wanna see is this move and then the little carrier down in the bottom, or maybe it's in the middle, because I want that carrier to be right here, so that way I can verify that the window is, you know, clipped into the safety. Cross your fingers. Yay! Yeah, make the motor do the work. I like that. Well, that worked. As you can see our little safety in that window again. So what we can do now is bring our glass down by hand very carefully, and what I'm going to do is reach in there and back the carrier up with my finger and slide it into its home. Almost there. So what I found was useful here, a little challenging to see, but this safety right here has to go through that hole in the glass or it won't catch when it goes up and down and the thing will be useless. What I found was helpful is I got a screwdriver, a thick one, and put it on this side and sort of just pried it over like this until that safety is fully seated. And you can verify that by feeling on the back side or the front. Oh yeah, now it should work. Back up. Fixed. We can remove our window switch again, and now we can put the door back together. Now we can put our insulation back here, and you know, if you like, you can put a new bead of silicone, but this stuff's like really goopy and sticky still, so I'm gonna run it. Feel free to disagree. Yeah, that's not bad. I really thought that was gonna be a lot harder to put back together. as far as this insulation stuff goes. But no, just sticks right back on in place. Okay, I'll take it. That's easy. Make sure our locked door indicator up here on the left is sort of where it needs to be. And then we can go grab the door panel. So the really cool thing is, since we don't have the switch in the door anymore, we can just feed the wire up in its home and just kind of leave it there. I'm actually holding it with my other hand. And then we can put that super-de-duper complicated handle on. It just goes on. It can go on either way. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and put our door handle back on. Just goes on just like that. I mean, it couldn't be any easier. Just whoop. So on the door cable, this plastic piece, the white piece on the end of my thumb, actually has to be in this home right here in order for it to work. Otherwise, it'll just have a flappy door that won't actually open. Like that. Very good. You can double check it. Put on the handle. See how it's not flappy? That's what you're looking for. So make sure you have your wire for your window switch fed up through the hole. And then you can aim these clips, these ones, all over the door into these holes that are all over the door. Make sure you have your locked door indicator flap. Make sure you have your locked door indicator rod sticking straight up. Line up those clipperoonies into their homes. Put the door lock indicator through the top left, right here. Good. And then, once you think you got it all lined up, go ahead and give it some taps. And again, we have our window switch, only goes on one way. Can't mess it up. That looks good, and then that can go into its home, just pushes straight in like that. It really couldn't be any easier. And then we can replace our fasteners. I wish I could show you in there, but it's just darkness. You'll see the holes I'm referring to. I'm not going to tighten them down just yet. I'm going to get all three in first. Now that all three are in, tighten them down. No real torque spec for you, just, you know, tight. It's fine. There you go. That seems very excellent. Then we can grab our handle cover and put that on like this. Just kind of snaps in place. Sure that's all good, and it is. And then for this bad boy, I'm just going to put this how we found it and push it back on straight. Awesome. Time to see if our work paid off. Yay. Going a little sluggish because I don't have the car on, but yeah. Fixed. And for a fraction of the cost BMW would charge you to do it. So that is how to replace a window regulator and motor on a 2009 328i BMW. This is a very easy repair, definitely something you could do in your garage or in a driveway or something like that. Don't take it to the dealer, don't take it to a mechanic to do this. This is something you could totally do, and the parts are available on Amazon, Rock Auto, any of those major parts distributors. And I think I paid $30 for the regulator or something like that. It was on sale or something. It was very inexpensive. And you know, I just ordered them right off of Amazon. I don't have like a special parts distributor. But if you took that to the dealer, I'm sure they would charge you several $100s to do what we did here today. That honestly was very easy and something you could totally do. If this video has helped you at all, consider giving a like or even subscribing. It helps the channel out a ton. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.